everyone. Welcome to Stuff I Never Learned from the Schoolbook. My name's Tom Springer. If you haven't met me before, if this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for showing up. For those of you who know who I am, how's everyone doing? You know I'm going to do it. So if you're watching me, it's 7 o'clock Central right now, which means it's 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific, 2 o'clock Hawaiian, 11 hours ahead of us Indonesia, 17 hours ahead of us in the Australian time zones, 15 if you're kind of central Australia. But anyways, hello everyone. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. Hey Stu, what's going on, brother? Welcome to the show. You're actually kind of early, or you're earlier than you normally are, I should say. Anyways, I have on a very beautifully talented guest. Hopefully you all checked out her sites that I posted, and you looked on her advertisements and everything else. And I am just going to bring her right in so we can just start talking right away. And she will tell you all about herself. So anyways, welcome, Carrie Kenady. Hi, Carrie. How are you?
Great. How are you? Thanks
Good,
for having
thanks.
me.
So welcome to the show. As everybody knows, I always start off with the very first question. And I'm just going to get out of the way, and then we can just start talking after that. How did you come about your abilities? When did you first learn you had them? What made you basically discover your abilities?
Good question. So I was about 6 years. Well, I was 6 years old when I got attacked by a dog. You can probably see the scar on my face.
Mm-hmm.
So I joke that I have the Peter Parker, like the dog bit me, and then I could talk dog.
And then you got the special powers.
Yeah. But all seriousness or all silliness aside, I think that really did make me extremely intuitive with animals.
Right.
Because I just was always on alert, and my nervous system was not regulated or whatever. But so fast forward in my 20s, I used to write in journals. I'm 45 now. I'd be writing in my journals, and my handwriting would start changing. And I didn't know it at the time, but of course I was doing automatic writing and channeling spirit and all that stuff. So that freaked me out, and I kind of put it away for a little while. And then I was 32 and my uncle died, and I was really close to him. And the next day in my room, I was crying, and I was like, okay, I know I can hear you. Can you please just let me know you're okay? And I heard him. He said, I'm okay. I love you. And so that scared me and freaked me out, but it also was like, oh, okay. And I mean, I've always been drawn to paranormal and psychic stuff, and I, of course, now I know I was just trying to figure myself out
Right.
because I've always been an empath. I was born as an empath. So, but yeah, so after that happened with my uncle, the floodgates opened and everything just came, pouring in, and it's because I was allowing it. And then I actually did get certified in people mediumship down in Charleston, South Carolina. I became a Reiki master. So just really opened up my spirituality and had a huge spiritual awakening. And then so, it's kind of, at first I was really afraid to give messages to people, but I'd practice on friends and family. And I had a friend named Carrie, and I was like, "Are you pregnant?" And she said, "No." She said, "But I just had a miscarriage."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I said, "Well, who's Noni?" And she said, "That was my great grandmother." And so I said, "Well, I mean, I just channeled it." And I said, "Well, Noni has your daughter and wants you to know she's going to send her back in 4 months." And of course, in 4 months later, she got pregnant with her now daughter.
Huh.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of at that point that I was like, okay, maybe I'm supposed to be giving people messages.
Right.
And then I started practicing on random people. Not random. I mean, they let me do. I always ask permission. I don't tune into anybody without their permission. But so yeah, I just started practicing on friends and family, and I got stronger and stronger. And then I started charging, and then all these all these pets started coming through, and I was like, okay, there's something to this. I was talking to a lady doing a people mediumship reading, and I was like, okay, I keep seeing a yellow bird around you. What does that mean? And she started crying, and she's like, that I had a yellow bird for 12 years.
Mm.
So then I figured out I was a pet medium. So it just kind of evolved from there. And I've been doing this full time for, gosh, 3 years now. I've been doing it for about 15 years, but 3 years as my own business. So,
Right. Yeah, that's fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw this up there really quick in case no one happened to take a look at it yet. But if you wanted to know more of a background, and people know I throw these up all the time, so it'll pop up around 4 or 5 times. But right there, right down below me, www.talktopets.com. Make sure you go out there. This is all Carrie's information, that lady right over there. So go down there, learn about that lady from this point. It's a great site. You have everything on there. You have your about information. You have you talk about what you can help people with. You explain the difference. I love the fact that you explained on your site the difference between a psychic and a medium, because a lot of people don't know there's a difference. That's a lot of people go, "Oh, I'm a psychic medium." Well, are you really? Are you a psychic? Are you a medium? Because as you explain, all mediums are psychics, but not all psychics are mediums.
Exactly. Yes.
So you explain that on the site. See, I don't just type in your stuff. I actually read your sites and everything. But no, you have all kinds of great information out there.
Thank you.
And for those who are not paying attention, shame on you, first of all. Second off, Carrie has been already in a show, and she is in an upcoming show, and it's with Jack Osbourne and the Ghost Brothers, and it is the Fright Club that we're doing. So so I know one episode's already come out, and you're in the upcoming Thursday episode as well. It's at 10 o'clock Eastern, I believe, on the Travel Channel.
Yes.
And you've also been on Discovery Plus. So you're kind of all out there everywhere now. So how did you like working with Jack and the Ghost Brothers? How are they?
They're so funny.
Yeah.
So funny. I actually got to work with the Ghost Brothers on their show Haunted House Guests.
Mm-hmm.
And I was physically with them in a haunted house in Michigan, and that was terrifying. But all three of them are so funny, and they're such great, nice guys. It was a blast. So yeah, I loved it. That was back in 2019, I think.
Yeah.
So I kind of caught the TV bug then, and so yeah,
just kind of ran with the sense.
Yeah, I ran with it.
So, did I read that you're an author?
I am actually. I wrote poetry in college. I was an English major in college, so I wrote poetry and creative stories. And I've actually I'm working on a children's book right now, a couple children's books. So
okay.
I love to write.
I have audience members over there by you. Oops, over. Let me get that finger working. Way over that side by you, where all the comments are that really are into audiobooks. So if you do audiobooks, that would be fantastic for some of my audience guests, because they really like they're like me. They're doing too many things to actually sit down and go like this. So they just put these in and just listen. But some of us are coming around because not everybody has audiobooks, so we're actually taking the time to force ourselves to sit down to read. Mm-hmm. Kind of that whole take turns thing. So yes, see, and then Jamie right there. That would be So like I said, my audience is popping in. Everyone's saying hi to you. My wife is saying hello to you. She's actually leaving work. She's a school teacher. Okay. She's just doing her open house today and everything else. So she's on her way here. She normally is my background to make sure all of my internet and everything is working and we're all good. So she will be here shortly. But anyways, everyone on my side is saying hello. Say hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. So you've been doing this for 15 years, but really into it for 3 years. Do you? And you were both. You are not, so anyone who didn't understand that, you are a medium.
Yes.
You are a psychic, and you are also a pet psychic.
Yes. So I specialize in mediumship, meaning I can communicate with animals and people on the other side. But I also, of course, talk to living animals and do people readings.
Right.
Like readings. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say you do the live animals. You can let them know. In fact, one of your testimonials talks about a dog who you said had something in the stomach. And the owner went and had some work done and said, oh, Yep, there's something in the stomach, so they went and actually got the surgery.
Yeah, it was actually a cat that ate a hair tie. And I know, right? And she did emergency surgery the next day, because I told her, your cat's stomach is really hurting. There's something wrong. I feel a blockage. And sure enough, yeah, she got emergency surgery the next day, and he's totally fine now. So,
Oh, good,
yeah.
great. Yeah, because it's and that's something too that I wanted to have people explain, that you're not just a past deceased pet psychic, but you actually talk to the living pets as well.
Yes,
So
and people.
that's important for and people.
Yeah.
That's important for them to know. So and it's funny because good job, Jamie. Jamie posted, I posted in Hawaiian Hauntings. I just posted something about pets coming back in spirit. So this is perfect. I like how you did the perfect lady. That's good.
Love it.
So what, you have a lot going on right now. Do you, and I'm sure that you're just about to throw more into it. Do you have anything else that's coming up?
I do. I'm not allowed to talk about it yet, but there are things in the works. Yep.
I promise, if you just tell us, by the end of the night, by the end of the week, there'll only be about 1,500 people that will know. That's all. So.
Yeah, all good things coming up. It's just been exciting, and yeah.
Can you tell us if it's with people or with pets?
Probably pets mostly.
Okay.
Definitely some more TV work in my future.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. But yeah, usually I'm just day to day doing readings all day, and I love it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and my audience knows this already, but I'm very new to being a psychic medium. I learned about it about 1.5 years ago.
Okay.
So it's very new to me.
So wait, you said you're a psychic medium?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
I am. I talk to elementals. Um, I can actually see what's going on, like on the other side of the world, while I'm talking to the person.
Yeah, remote viewing.
Yes, it's really weird how that happens to me, because I'm one of those that I'm still under the impression that I'm new. So when I realize I can do something, and I talk to someone else, and someone else goes, I can't do that. I just think all of us do that, and I'm wrong. So William Nighthawk is saying hello. He says that
I think we're Facebook friends.
He is, yes, because
Yeah.
he said because I posted your commercial on there, and he said, "Oh, she is absolutely wonderful. You will love having her on there." So yes, he is on here, and he's saying hello. He is actually one that I kind of reach out to quite a bit, because I have a Native American background, but I really know nothing about it.
Yeah.
And I don't have any living relatives who can help me with that. So he's kind of the one I lean on to kind of give me some guidance there. So
gotcha.
Yeah,
well, I can always give you guidance too.
Oh, I'll take it.
It's confusing when you first figure it out that you're a medium.
Yeah,
it's overwhelming.
It's funny, because I think I'm very understanding that I know how I can close myself down if I want to, but apparently subconsciously I let myself open up when I think I need to, even though I don't know I think I need to, because I hear like people talking to me, and it's very disturbing. So I can't really say disturbing, but it's distracting. Yes. And I'm like, I'm on a show. Go away. That happened a couple shows ago. I was actually on a show here, and I was talking. Someone asked something in the audience, and all of a sudden, someone just came in and started talking to me, and it was for someone in the audience. I was working here. So.
Yeah, I know. It takes a while to get used to kind of turning off that hat and saying, "Hey, not right now."
Yeah. My biggest thing has been, I'm sleeping. Don't wake me up again.
Especially at 3 a.m. That's when they like to do it. Yeah.
Right. That seems to be it. Oh, I told you this person would be popping on. This is Ajang. We always say hi to Ajang. She is my dear friend that pops in to support us every single time from Indonesia. So I always make sure that we pop in to say hi to Ajang when she pops on. So
cool.
She's one of the few people I will stop the show for and actually say hi to. So she actually does a show. She actually is a pianist and she actually posts her music online,
Oh, cool.
and it is just fantastic. It's beautiful, and she has abilities.
Mhm.
Uh, she really opens up when she plays piano because the spirits
Yep.
just come out of everywhere to
Hmm.
just listen to her play, and
Yeah.
they just love it. They stand around. It's almost like they're just at a home party and just standing around while she's playing piano. And when I see them, I can see that they're from all different generations because they're all dressed differently.
Oh, that's neat.
So it's really nice.
Yeah.
So have you come across anything as far as human or pet that you have just been like, whoa, that's weird, like just
Mm.
out
I
of the
mean,
ordinary?
it all kind of blows me away. Like every time I do a reading, I'm like, what? I mean, I've been doing it for so long that it doesn't, you know,
Right.
yeah. But I love when I pull out cool stuff. Well, it's them telling me, right? I'm just the channel, I'm just the medium. But like yesterday, I was talking to a guy and he was crying and just really grieving over his dog. And he's like, I can't feel my dog at all. I was like, well, did you just go to the Home Depot yesterday? Because your dog said he was with you when you went to Home Depot. And he's like, yeah, I went yesterday to get a lawnmower. So I just love when I can pull through those very specific evidential things that
Right.
helps them to know that their dog is not, he's in a different dimension, but he's still with him.
Still with
So,
us. Yeah, that's
yeah.
fantastic. So my wife is asking you a question. She says, question, and maybe a stupid question,
Yeah.
but when you read animals, living or dead, how do they communicate with you? It's not like I'm talking to you right now. It's
Yeah. That's a really good question. So they show me, I get symbols in my head, I get words in my head. It sounds like my own thoughts, but it's very quick and subtle and random. And so it feels very different than I always say, like, I'm thinking from up here, basically, but it's like when spirit talks to me, it comes from another place in my brain, if that makes sense. Is that what you experience too, Tom?
it does with me. In fact, mine are different. My voices seem to come in almost from the side.
Yep.
I mean, it's almost just like it's almost like a form of telepathy when they're talking to me.
Yeah, it is. And that's what it is exactly. It's telepathic communication. So animals show me mostly pictures, they imagine things.
Right.
And that's how I talk back to them. I imagine things in my head and, I'll send them symbols, I'll send them words. So, yeah, I get it all different ways. I'm claircognizant, clairaudient, clairvoyant,
Right.
clairsentient. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
all the fields.
I kind of get all the clairs too. It's really weird.
Yeah.
I'm still not used to them all. So that's the weird parts.
Mhm.
I've never had the experience of animals. Like I said, I've done a lot of odd things. Like I can see, hear, talk to, just like I'm talking and seeing and hearing you,
Mhm.
elementals and some other beings, but not animals. So that's really interesting.
It's the same muscle.
Yeah.
It's the same, so if you just change your narrative, right? Law of attraction, I can communicate with animals.
Right.
You
True.
say that I won't really do that, then that'll be your truth. That'll
Right.
remain your truth. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm terrible about that. I'm working on that, but I'm
Change
terrible.
that narrative.
So yes, I
I'm
know.
great at that. I'm great at that.
I am working on it and planning on getting better.
Awesome.
But have you had to, uh, living or dead again? I'm going to leave this option to you.
Yeah.
Have you had to just work with some just out of the ordinary type of animals?
Oh gosh, those are probably my favorite readings. I've talked to so many different species. I've talked to Kentucky river otters. Oh yeah, I got to hold one actually. It was amazing. It was actually a wildlife center
Oh,
ambassador
okay.
with her pet, so that was pretty cool. I've talked to sugar gliders, iguanas, chameleons, snakes, mice, you name it. It's so much fun because normally I just read cats, dogs, and horses all the time, like all day long, in
Right.
addition to my people reading. So when I get an exotic animal, I'm like, yes, this is
Yeah.
awesome.
Right. So William is asking us, are beloved pets with us in heaven or spirit realm? I'm asking for a friend.
Yes. Are you asking when you cross over, will they be there to greet you? I think that's what he's asking. And the answer is yes.
Yes,
And
that's what he's asking.
yes, absolutely. So as soon as we cross over, they're going to be there.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good, because my little dog Z that I had way back when will be sitting up there then. But I had him long time ago.
Yep. We'll be
And
there.
Jamie says, I have a cat here, but I'm not sure it's actually a cat. So how do you go about figuring out something like that?
Oh, you mean in spirit? I was like, she doesn't know she has a cat. That was a blonde moment. Honestly, just ask it, Jamie. Is there? What are you? Are you a cat? Or just talk to it and see what you get. And it's the first thing you hear. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't second guess. It's just the first thing you hear. Sometimes it helps me. When I first started out, I would just start writing in my journals and ask questions and then just start writing because that's how it came through to me at first. So I still write and doodle sometimes when I do reading.
Oh, sorry. I was reading what Jamie was writing. She said, has Faye energy and she's huge, knee high. So that's what she was kind of asking. It's
Okay.
a little different.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. Well, it might be a dog. I don't know. I'd have to. Yeah. I don't know.
You have to focus on it.
Yeah.
Do you work more with people energy or with animal energy?
I do pretty much split 50-50.
Okay.
Well, the past year I'd say I've done more pets, but I do a lot of people mediumship and I do what's called life clarity readings. So, I can show people what's coming up in their future, but I always say, you create it with your thoughts. So I can read what's in your energy right now, but you create everything with your thoughts. That's law of attraction.
Right.
So I kind of teach them how to do law of attraction and help them manifest what they really want in their lives. So it's not like a normal psychic reading. I do pull through a lot of psychic stuff and tell them everything that their guides and angels want them to know. But then we really get into like, okay, what are you really wanting in this lifetime, and how can I help you uh, manifest that, achieve that? So.
Right. I did notice that on your site, you talk about how some people use tarot or whatever else, but you said you really just use yourself with your angels and your guides.
I do, yeah. Yeah. And I think tarot can be a great tool for other psychics. I've seen all kinds of psychics use different things. But yeah, I've just, of course, writing was my first tool, but now it just comes quickly. And as soon as I hear it, I say it. So.
Have you ever used anything like if someone brings you a collar or if anyone brings you something like to hold on to?
Mm-hmm.
Does that seem to strengthen, or is it just you're just like no, thanks, but I can do this on my own?
Yeah, I don't need the collar. I don't need any physical thing. So yeah, all I need to do really is look at a picture
Okay.
Of the animal who's living or crossed over, or same with the people. When I do people mediumship, I don't have to have pictures. I just say, okay, I've got somebody here who had breast cancer, whatever, and then I just keep going with that. But animals, I really need a picture because as a medium, they all, and you probably know this, they all try to talk to me at the same time. And so I'm constantly telling people, hey, let me know if this makes sense for any other animal in spirit, because they love to interrupt each other, just like
Right.
toddlers. They say, mommy. Yeah, so.
Jamie is asking Joe, who is the guy that I told you was going to be out in Hawaii listening to us. Joe wants to know about spirits that pose as cats, like Jinn. Do you know of anything like that? Something that
Spirits that pose as cats. So on the other side, they don't have bodies. They're just energy. So maybe they were a cat in this lifetime and they go back in their spirit, their energy. It's possible that that cat was a person in some lifetime or some timeline. I don't believe in past lives. I believe they show me that it's all going on at the same time. So different multiple timelines that are endless.
right.
So a cat posing as I'm kind of confused about that question, really.
Well, I'm not really sure. I'm just reading what she posted up there. Is there? Um,
I guess I wouldn't. Sorry, I guess I wouldn't say spirits don't ever like pose as something else. They just are. They're just energy. They just are who they are in spirit. Whether they've had a lifetime as a cat or a person or an elephant or a giraffe or whatever.
I All right. I have to. This may go sideways for a second because I'm not sure how much you deal with star seeds and stuff like that. Um, for instance, I know that I in one of my lifetimes I have been Arcturian. Um,
Mhm.
are animals the same way? Were they from somewhere else at one point, and then now they're on their next section at Earth, and then they're going to move on to somewhere else, or how does that work?
Great question. I wish I knew the answer.
Oh, dang
I know. I believe that this is what I believe. I believe that Earth School is the hardest place to be, and that once we graduate from here, from Earth School, we've been through all the lifetimes or the timelines, that we go on to different places that are easier.
it.
I don't know if that, I don't, that probably didn't really answer your question, but
Well, I did. Does that happen the same way with animals? I mean, you're talking about us as humans on this earth. This is our most telling, our most difficult place to be. But is
Mhm.
it the same way for animals? And I mean, because I understand that you're saying that when they move on, they're no longer in their body form. They're energies, so their
Mhm.
spirits, their energies, everything else. Well, we're going to do the same thing, or we're going to manifest somewhere else as something else. Um,
Why not?
Yeah, but so do the animals do the same thing?
Sure. I mean, who am I to say that that doesn't happen, right? I'm not educated enough to talk about that or tuned into, you know, different galaxies or people or
Right.
beings. I've been so focused on pets that have
Yeah.
been here and people who have been here. So I believe anything's possible though. Why not?
I just figured since you deal with the pets, maybe they have whispered something here, say, "Hey, I'm over here now, and this is not what I'm doing," and type of thing. So, I just didn't know. I thought I'd just ask. I thought, why not? Worst case scenario is you can tell me I don't know, and
Yeah, I
because
don't.
that's the answer I have all the time. I don't know. Uh, Amani's saying she really likes you.
I
She
saw that. Thank
so she says she'll be getting a reading from you.
you. Yay.
And William is saying animal spirits in our lives have been put in our lives for unconditional love security. They are our guardians spirits, our guardian spirits. Yes.
Yes. And not just for unconditional love, but to heal us big time. They heal us. They're entertainers, they're companions, they're guard dogs, especially dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs love having jobs. Same with horses.
Yeah.
Cats, just like the one.
Cats are happy to have humans around to entertain them.
Be their servants, which is not actually how it is. They're such big healers. I mean, the frequency of a cat's purr can actually heal bones.
Really?
Yep,
I really think that if cats had thumbs, opposable thumbs, we would be in trouble. I really do.
probably.
Because I know they're way smarter than I am. So,
They're so evolved. I really believe that cats and dogs, well, all animals are more evolved than humans.
yeah. Yeah. She says she's a cat chick. Jamie said, "Hey, I'm a cat chick." She is. But when have you ever read both at the same time? Have you ever done a reading for like the owner and the animal at during the same session?
Yeah.
Normally, how does that go? I mean, is that just like a therapy session saying, "Hey, your cat or your dog really needs this, and you're just not showing it enough of this or whatever else?" And
Mm, no, I try to really focus on the animal that I'm reading. At some readings, I do a couple different animals, so I focus on each animal, and I really try to bring through loving, positive messages. My clients are wonderful, so I don't have a lot of times where I'm like, "You need to do this differently. You need to do this," but I'm always offering suggestions on, hey, your dog has anxiety, check out CBD oil treats or, stuff like that. But then I'm able to just compartmentalize and completely switch over to the person when we finish the pet reading. So, we can, I usually I need a picture of the person. So I just tune into their energy
Right.
and do that reading separately. So,
Yeah. I have never thought of that before. I've had pets, except for recently, but I've always grown up with. I used to live on a farm, for Christ's sake, so I had cows, chickens, rabbits, pigs, horses,
I was wondering why you have so many animals around you.
13 dogs. We had. Well, I lived on a 17,000 acre dairy farm, so
Wow.
we had everything. And I've always grown up with dogs, lots of cats, but my last dog was a monster. His name was Lancelot, and he was a German Shepherd Rottweiler mix. And
Oh, wow.
he was 187 pounds, so
Wow.
he was a giant.
That's
Very
ginormous.
very gentle giant though. Unless you tried to get close to my son, I had him when my son was in his little carrier. And I could put the carrier down, and Lancelot would come over and sit by the carrier and just like look out at people like, nope, this one's mine. Go get your own. So
Very protective. Yeah.
very protective. He must have got that from me because I'm very protective. My audience knows that. They know the background. But it's really interesting that I never knew, probably because I haven't had animals lately since really CBD has come into play, but I never thought about CBD oils or treats for pets to help calm them down.
It really helps,
Yeah,
because all their senses are amplified, especially dogs. I mean, they smell what, like 100 times what we smell.
yeah, yeah,
And their hearing, I mean, we hear at 25,000 hertz. They hear it. Dogs hear at 45,000 hertz. Cats hear at 64,000 hertz. So everything is amplified for them.
right. Yeah, so they would not like me because I'm not a shy, quiet person. I'm kind of loud. So they'd be like, shh, stop talking, human, you're too loud. So,
Honestly, a lot of times they tell me, like, tell my mom her music's too loud. The TV's too loud. It scares me.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CBD oil is great for anxiety. I talk all the time about honestpaws.com.
Hmm.
They make peanut butter flavored treats for dogs and it
Oh.
seems to work really well. But yeah, I give my cat CBD oil. He doesn't love it, but I do it.
Do you get a lot of, is there any like particular time during the year that you just get a lot of readings that happen that have to happen? Like I'm just my thought process is around the loud holidays like 4th of July and stuff like that. Does it just amp up for you and people are like, I don't know what's going on. How do I help take care of this or anything else? Or
Not usually around holidays. I get a lot of people who come to me when their animals are about to cross over or have crossed over, because they need help navigating the death and dying process. So that's the only time it kind of ramps up, and it's interesting. It kind of comes in waves.
Hmm.
It's like all these animals will cross over suddenly, and then there will be a lull, and then it happens again. So it's interesting how that happens.
yeah, almost like a cycle.
Yeah.
I'll let you answer this one because it's your job. Uh, William is asking, do pet psychics see other spirits or do they primarily concentrate on animals? Well, you do both, so.
I do both. Yeah, it just depends on what reading I'm doing at the time.
Right. Um, and she actually asked right there, do you have suggestions for a dog that won't eat the CBD treats?
Honestly, I would take the oil and put it over their food, or you can put it in their mouth. They may not like it, but
Yeah.
you probably just need to figure out a different treat or a different brand, because a lot of them don't mind, or and put the treats in the really good food, really good wet food.
Yeah.
There's ways to get around that.
If you put the treat in peanut butter, you get twofold because they try to eat it and then you just watch them go the whole time and it's hilarious. So
Dogs love peanut butter. They always tell me that. Funny, they tell me cheese a lot too. And lots of other stuff they're not supposed to be having.
right. We have found numerous animals associated around us where they have learned to open cabinets and refrigerators and stuff like that because they know that's where the food is.
Oh yeah.
You really got to keep an eye on them.
They're sneaky little ninjas. Yep.
Yeah, my wife put this on here. She says peanut butter boxes here because that's one of the Chewy commercials, and I quote it all the time, so she put that on there because I'm always walking around going peanut butter boxes here, peanut butter boxes. So yeah, she makes fun of me. So looks like we have we have a new player. Oh, I said hi to her. Melody's here. Hi, Melody. So Melody's chiming in.
Hello. Oh, somebody said, do you have suggestions for a dog that won't eat? Oh, we already did that. I'm sorry. Okay.
We did that one. Yeah.
I'm sure I got that comment right. Okay.
So when you say you see symbols
Mm-hmm.
for them, can you explain like what some of the symbols are that you see that are for
Yeah.
certain things? I mean, I'm assuming it's the same symbol repeated for you
Mm-hmm.
that gives you that same answer.
Yeah, I've kind of had an agreement with spirit to, when you talk about this, give me the symbol for this. So an example is if a dog is a protector or a guard dog, they'll show me an umbrella. That's my symbol for protection. If somebody's about to go on a trip, spirit shows me uh, train tracks.
Oh, okay.
Why they don't show me suitcase or something easier, but it's always train tracks.
Something like that, yeah.
They also show me like a stick of dynamite, and I don't know why, but that's my symbol for quick changes in their life.
Mm.
So yeah, just really random symbols like that, and I'm sure there's a million more I'm not thinking of right now. But
Jamie says she's actually had to childproof her cabinets because Tortellina Houdini, that is a fantastic name,
yes,
can open almost anything.
hey, baby locks, baby. I learned that from having a baby.
See,
How
and
the cabinets.
my problem, I mean, granted, right now I don't have pets, but I just know in foresight, I could not do that because I can't open up the baby locks myself. It's like, childproof bottles. You can't open those things. But so hand it to a child. He's like, "Here, Dad." Oh, Jesus. So I don't think it's going to work very well for my house.
Gotta find what works for you.
Yeah, yeah. When you are, I'm sorry, but my show goes all over the place. That's just because I go all over the place. I have way too many squirrel moments. So I have not seen your episode yet of Fright Club.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys doing on Fright Club for those people who are interested?
Oh, it's an amazing show. So it's Jack Osbourne, who's Ozzy Osbourne's son, and the Ghost Brothers, going back and forth. They try to beat each other out with the scariest clip. And so they have clips of aliens and UFOs and, ghosts, spirits doing stuff like poltergeist stuff. So some of it can be pretty creepy. But so they bring in experts to kind of comment on the clips that they show. And so last Thursday, I talked about what a cat was doing. A cat was up like this, ready to fight. And
Right.
they wanted to know, hey, what is this cat thinking? And so it's like a 5 minute, little spiel, maybe not even that long. Just giving my opinion about what the cat's feeling and thinking and all that good stuff. And then this Thursday, it's a dog, the spirit of a dog is opening its old crate door. So that was pretty cool. Obviously, I don't remember. I don't remember what I said because we filmed it like a year ago. So
Yeah, I was watching one of them that was like unexplained paranormal or something like that, and it shows the security guard sitting at his desk in an office building, and the sliding door keeps opening on the front of it, and when you look and you see the little shape move, it looks like a dog walks in front of it numerous times, and finally the guy's like, "Oh nope," and then he finally sees the spirit, and you can actually see it in the camera. And he gets up. He's like, "Nope, I'm done. This is the end of my job. I'm not doing this anymore." So it's funny how like the animals just seem to. I mean, they're not harmful. They're just, but it scares some people. So it's pretty funny.
It's actually very rare for a place to have negative entities, unless it's a very old house or it's in a house built on, Civil War stuff where battlefields were fought.
Right.
There's a lot of paranormal stuff around
Or
this.
if it's designed because like the prisons that held a lot of negative people and stuff like that. Yes.
Sins.
Yes.
Yeah.
then that's
Insane asylums, that's a big one too. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. It's
most places.
yeah. I haven't investigated very many places. I've investigated, but it's interesting how some of the different spirits interact, even with the different people. I want to say goodnight to Amani really quick, so she'll be listening, but she's got to take off for a little bit. So, Amani, thank you. Enjoy listening for the rest of the evening. Carrie's fantastic. She'll be here as long as she wants to talk. I told her she doesn't have a time limit. Um, yep, no problem. I'm glad she came on too. I was glad she agreed. So, night, Amani. But sorry, but I'm kind of amazed how when we go on these investigations that the way the spirit will interact even with the different people in your group.
Mm-hmm.
It could be very nice to one person, but then can kind of be negative towards another. And we've experienced it kind of in a situation where we're in someone's older homes,
Mm-hmm.
and we have men and women in the group, and our women will start to talk, and it's like the place will shut down. Like, no, women aren't allowed to talk. You don't. This is the time period is not time for you to talk.
Yep.
The time period is time for the men to talk, and the women need to sit there and shush. So, and it's funny how we come across those places, and there's that much dichotomy between the two. Oh, dichotomy. That was a good word for the day.
Good word.
Just in your own groups. Have you had to deal with something like that, to where you're just like, well, why is the spirit different with this person than this person?
Well, I feel like when that happens, and I could be wrong, but I feel like there are multiple spirits there. And maybe you think it's the same spirit, but it's probably somebody else. Because in any given location, I mean, think about it. We all have spirit guides and angels.
Mm-hmm.
In any location that's haunted, it's usually more than one spirit. So it could be a little bit of that going on. I don't know.
Oh, true. Yeah. And for anyone wondering, no, I'm not drinking. It's root beer. So
I'm drinking water. So
and this is actually exactly who I thought of when I made that last comment. My wife said, "That's my problem. I have problems shushing," and it's because on our team we had 3 very outspoken women, which is fantastic because they're all fascinating and they should not be quiet. And I loved having them talk, but it really did seem like when they talked, our house shut down for a while. And then if the men went off and wandering off, then we would get action again. But whenever we were in with some of the women, it would shut off again. And it wasn't really places like the asylums or the old hospitals or anything else. It really was the older private residences that seemed to shut down that way. And so I think it was something. I think it was something tied to the history of how they were brought up, or how.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. So I wonder if that's just what happened. Have you done? I mean, I know you do psychic medium stuff and everything else, but have you done a lot of investigations?
I've done a couple. Of course, the one where I filmed Ghost Brothers Haunted House guests with them in person.
Right.
I mean, that was kind of an investigation, because I was going around talking, seeing what I felt. And of course, they had their equipment, all of them. So that was interesting. I've also done the area where I live, Lexington, Kentucky. It's very haunted in Lexington and around it. So I've helped people like in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. I went into that one and I immediately heard, "Get the F out of here," to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, this is a negative, evil spirit that I cannot be around. I literally ran down the stairs and across the sidewalk.
Oh,
And
really?
we just lost our guest medium for the show. I also had the pleasure of doing an investigation at a winery here in Lexington with the Ghost Brothers. So that was pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was neat. And yeah, just to give my my feedback on what I felt was going on in the winery, and what they were kind of picking up with their equipment. So that was neat. Really, I try to stay away from an investigation because I mean, probably like you, I'm just so sensitive to all that stuff. And I don't want anything to attach to me because it's happened before and it's not pretty.
You know what? That's a great segue. Hello. Bobby's asking, when you go to a location, have you ever had spirit take you over or be forceful? How do you deal with that?
Never take me over. I've definitely dealt with mean, negative, forceful people. Nothing paranormal that, or sorry, nothing like poltergeist like, but I mean, I could just feel the heaviness and the sadness, the residual energy,
Right.
as well as, people saying, "Get out of here. We don't want you here." It's it's hard to deal with, actually. That's why I don't deal with it a lot. I don't deal with investigations a lot. So I try to really stay in positive, neutral spaces because I'm
Right.
just so sensitive to that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm kind of built the other way. Everyone knows I always use the statement, "I'm too dumb to know any better." I really do 100% believe in what I see in my mind's eye as my protective shield,
Hmm.
and mine actually fits me just like a superhero suit does. I mean, it's skin tight, it's solid, it's invincible. You can't penetrate it. And
That's
the
great.
reason that I have that is because I want that spirit, that entity, whatever it is, to be able to get right up to me without being able to come and attach to me, just so I know what it's thinking, what it's feeling, what it's saying, what it's sensing. And I want that experience. Um, and I've been told, like I said, a lot of times I'm too dumb to know any better, but that's just how my belief system is in myself. And I've never had anything that I've had to fear as far as I have felt. Uh, and so I'm okay going on investigations where there's a lot of stuff going on.
Hmm.
I really don't mind being the guardian, the protector, the one that looks out while we're there. And that's
Better you than me. Hey, as long as you know to get grounded first and, put the white light around you, and that's great that you see the protection of armor on you.
yeah, and that's Nighthawk right there. So look at you. You're beating us to the questions. He asked, "Do you ground yourself on a regular basis?"
I have to because I just feel everything. It's very hard for me, especially after COVID, to be in any kind of social setting with more than like 5 people because I'm just feeling all their stuff.
Well,
And
and yours is different too because you have the empath side of you.
I mean, all psychics do.
Right, but I don't think mine is. I am very much a direct type of person. I don't really. I don't think I take on the energy like most empaths do of others. I guess I'm able to shield that just naturally on my own as well. Uh,
You
because
probably just don't realize it. Sorry to interrupt.
I probably do, but I don't get tired that way. I don't take on that kind of. I'm actually the one who feeds energy to others.
You're an
Uh,
extrovert. I'm an introvert.
I'm very much an introvert. Um,
Hmm.
very much an introvert. If you gave me the option, every test I've taken to show me is an introvert. If I am not doing my show and I can go live on a little island all by my lonesome and not have to deal with anybody at all, you would never see me again. Uh,
Interesting.
I am very much an introvert, but I am very much a chameleon to where I can fit into my surroundings and take on the role I need to in order to do stuff like a show uh,
Mhm.
or or be around others in a comfortable setting, even though inside I'm just going nuts.
Yep.
It's the way it is. So it's
Are you an INFJ? Do you know your Myers
I
Briggs?
am an I actually do believe I am an INFJ. Last I checked, I think I was an
Yeah,
INFJ. It was the last one I was. So
same.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we tend to be chameleons and we can adapt to who we're around. So,
Yeah, my friends call me the politician because I shake hands and say hello to everyone. But I self proclaim this. It's really not because of anything outside of the fact that I want to know what that person does or who that person is.
mm,
That way, in turn, if I need something, I know who I can turn to and talk to.
mm,
So it's kind of a twofold. They can come to me if they need help, but I know I can go to them if I need anything as well, and we both know each other's situations.
mhm.
So Jamie is saying that COVID kicked her butt at first. It was a lot of energy. Um, to observe and not and absorb was a tough one to learn.
Yep.
So
Great.
yes,
Yeah. Lots of grounding.
Yes.
That's the staging too.
Yeah, and again, I'm terrible about stuff like that. I know I am. I'm terrible about both of those things. I'm a terrible grounder and a terrible sager. So I don't know how I function in the world I do.
No time like the present to start.
Yeah, and my wife will tell you, just like she did, she forces me to be an extrovert. Yes, she does.
It's pretty hard when you're an INFJ.
But she knows that once I shut down, I'm done. She's like, oh, it's time to go because he is completely done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jamie's saying when during the time frame, she was just like, I sat in the corner like, I cannot do this. This is. And William comes back. I'm jumping comments now. And William says, just because spirit is angry does not mean it is evil, which is correct.
Yes.
We came across when some of the other investigators that I would watch online, because I can see while they're online as well, I would tell them that person you're dealing with he's not evil. He's just angry. You're in his space. Get out of that room. You'll be perfectly fine. That's his space.
Mm-hmm.
And he follows up with, my ancestors are angry, but they're not evil. The anger comes from a protective place. And again, like I told you, Native American. If I'm not mistaken, William, I know I'm not because I pay very close attention to you, Lakota Indian.
That's cool.
So yes. So when you
ancestors have a right to be angry.
Right, I know.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm a weird mix. I am Native American and Norse, so I kind of have a lot of anger issues in my background. When you have you ever taken any of your you mentioned you have more than just the one animal I mentioned in the commercial.
Yes.
Have you ever taken any of your pets with you on investigations?
Oh gosh, no. I mean,
No?
I have cats and guinea pigs, so that would not work. If I had a dog, I wouldn't do it either because I don't, they freak out. They can see UV light. They can see spirits. So
Yeah, I just didn't know if you used them like an early warning detector, like
have that up here.
Because I know that one of the people we know, a couple of us on here know, had brought her dog with her, and she said and it was overnight, and she said the dog just like really sat up on top of the person the whole night and just watched like the whole night to make sure that they were safe and everything else. So that's kind of rough on an animal, I would think, because they're not in a calm environment.
No, and I really don't recommend that anybody doing that ever because you're just I'm sure the dog was probably traumatized and has a lot of anxiety from it.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that she was a Chihuahua. So
oh gosh,
this big.
They're already anxious.
Right. Yeah. Is there God, I don't know which question to go with next because I have so many.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. So outside of your animal side, when you haven't gone on, you said a whole lot of investigations, but when you have gone on investigations, has there ever been a place that you're like, I am just not going back to that place? I mean, outside of that one you said you ran from because that was just bad. Was there anything you're just like, I can't go back there. I will not go back there. That was just a bad place to be.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I do it. I look at a building, I feel it, and I'm like, I'm not going in. I can't go in there.
Right.
So it's more of that than I can't go back to that place. I just know automatically. Like in my friend's basement the other day, she's got somebody down there. They've cleared it out, but I was like, nope, I'm not going down into that basement. I just don't go into it.
I say, will you still not go down there? Just no?
Honestly, I think it brings up memories of my childhood because my childhood home was extremely haunted here in Lexington, Kentucky. And I'm just like, nope. I dealt with that when I was a kid. I mean, I wouldn't even put my arm out of the bedspread because, spirits would touch it. So whenever I feel that again, I don't even want to go in that. I avoid it like the plague. So
with that happening on when you were younger and you were at a haunted location, you were raised in a haunted location when you were younger, basically. Mm-hmm. Have you ever thought to understand? Is that just, were you scared because they were spirits and you just didn't understand them, or were you scared because they were they were evil spirits, but you just did? I mean, what do you know which one it was? Was it?
There was no poltergeist activity, but it was definitely a very dark presence.
Mm,
More than one just darkness. I could feel the heaviness, the darkness. I actually felt a lot of Native American stuff there. Not just angry though. I mean, it was beyond that. Like it was scary. Not just Native Americans, but and I feel like there was a battle there or something. Um, I think I also was feeling just residual energy from people who had lived there, died there. It was an older home, so
right.
yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on that freaked me out.
William would like to know, what's the best suggestions you can give to little dogs that are stressed out from loud noises and thunderstorms other than medication?
I mean, I just show dogs in that case that they're safe over and over again. But it's their nervous systems are not regulated either. When they're that anxious, and in fact, anxiety usually, like when they get older, they have issues with their stomach, their lungs, neurological stuff. I feel like it's all tied together. What I can give suggestions to the owners, not the dogs, because the dogs, they can't always control their anxiety. So, CBD oil, turn the TV down, turn the radio down. When it's 4th of July, put them in a bathroom, stay in there with them, play the radio, just kind of try to distract them. Yeah, I think I have a lot of good tips. Of course, if they're really anxious, puppy Prozac, it really does help, or sedating them somehow, trazodone or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, CBD oil, I think that's really effective. And just for stressed, anxious dogs, there's all kinds of stuff. There's Reiki, there's T-touch for animals, there's acupuncture, there's all kinds of stuff now. So,
I did not know all that.
yep. I do Reiki on animals.
I've had acupuncture done on me, but I never heard of it on an animal. That's
It
interesting.
actually works really well. I have somebody here in Lexington who is a vet, trained as a vet, but now she does acupuncture full time, and it really helps animals. Actually, it helps them to heal themselves. So,
Really?
and it's very soothing. They usually fall asleep.
Let's say, so while they're healing us, they're healing themselves. So
Yep, yep.
that's
We heal them, and they heal us.
yeah. Oh, sorry, I have a train going by, so that's
Somebody's going on a vacation.
probably what you're hearing. That would be me. It's not really a vacation; it's just a trip.
I wish that were me.
Um, I'm kind of flipping back to a comment you made earlier, and I kind of glossed over it, and then I just realized in my head what you said. So now I'm curious, and I'm sorry, folks, but this is kind of about me right now, because you were like, I was wondering why there's so many animals around you. So you can see a lot of animals around me.
I can feel them and see them in my mind's eye.
Okay. Can you sense what kind of animals they are?
All different.
Really?
A lot of dogs, but I also see horses with you. So when I look at you, I feel that you had a lifetime in the Civil War. Are you drawn to that?
I'm drawn to all history. I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I know all the history. I'm a big history nerd. So yeah. But,
Yeah. So I feel a lot of that. I feel every animal, like there's so many animals that want to talk to you. I'm like, nope, not right now.
that's funny. I've never had anyone say that I've had a lot of animals around me. So that's very interesting.
Animals and people, we all have spirit guides and angels.
Right. It's funny because kids, for some reason, are very drawn to me, and it kind of freaks the parents out. Like we'll just be out somewhere, and all of a sudden, a kid will just stop. I mean, just dead stop and look at me and smile and wave.
Yep.
And it happens quite often. And I always tell people, I think it's because I look like the Harley Santa.
It's your energy.
And that's what I think it is. I was actually up in Fargo, North Dakota, of all places, doing some work. And there's a very heavy, very heavy Somalian population up there.
Mm.
And I was there, and first off, I had the mohawk. It wasn't as long as it is now. It was very short, so it was very prominent because it was standing up.
Mm.
I did have the beard and everything else, and I'm walking around, and first I get the looks of odd to see you in a very heavily Somalian populated area. But then all the kids, I mean, they would just come up to me and they just want to talk to me and they just want to touch my hands and they just want to be around. And so many parents were like, not that guy. Like they take him by the shoulders and go, no, no, not that guy. You can talk to anybody else but that one. So,
Yeah, I mean, kids are wide open. They're drawn to good positive energy.
Yeah.
And they also, like my daughter, she sees colors around me and angels, and she always tells me, "Mommy, I see there are two angels flying around you," and so they're wide open. They
oh,
haven't had anybody yet to crush that.
I
you know.
I can sense your daughter's just her wide open spirit because I everyone knows this when I'm with my audience. I don't ask you a lot of questions, but I do a lot of Facebook stalking, and I'm sorry to use that word, but that's what I do. I Facebook stalk,
Mhm.
and so I look at all your pictures and everything else, and I saw pictures of your daughter, and she just has such an amazing energy. It's
Oh,
like always happy and just always helpful. I mean, it's just like she doesn't have that, like you said, she hasn't been beaten by that yet. And the fortunate thing is I can already see this is that she's not ever going to have that problem. She's always going to be that helpful,
yeah,
happy, just always open child. As she grows up into a young woman and everything else, I can already see that for her
yeah.
in her future, and I can just see it from her pictures.
Mhm.
Somehow I can read a lot off of that, but that's
Mhm.
really what I sense for her.
Mm.
It's really cool because that's exactly what I see, and I don't have any second guessing or doubts about that. That's the only thing I see for her.
Mhm.
So it was really cool to
Yeah.
see that with her pictures.
She's wide open, wide
Yeah.
open. And I've never tried to push anything on her. I've just because I want her to do whatever makes her happy. She loves singing and dancing and art, but
Yeah.
yeah, she's always been wide open, wide open. So I'm like, I don't discourage it, of
Yeah,
course.
there we go. Yeah.
I
And
teach her how to deal with it.
she
So
looks like she's having a great time with it. Like I said, the pictures are
she's
fantastic. So, and she's
she's
starting
very
kindergarten.
emphatic.
And she's starting kindergarten though, so that's going to be phenomenal.
Yes,
So
yes.
she gets to interact with all the other kids,
Yep.
have their own set of imaginations.
Hmm.
May not just be imaginations. So it's going
Right.
to be a very interesting crossover talk there between the kids.
I imagine she gets pretty overwhelmed like I did in
Oh,
school.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're talking with her about that and everything else. And this is how you're going to have to deal with this. And
Yeah.
yeah. So Nikki is asking, can you figure out a person's spirit animal?
I don't really work a lot with totem animals. I believe in it, but I don't really work a lot with that. I just see, what animals and people are around them who've crossed over.
Okay.
That would be cool to learn though, totem animals.
Yeah. And then right here is the person that can help you with that. But
Yep.
of course, he's talking about he may eat the CBD treats for the dogs. So
There's a different CBD for you. Grade is human grade. Hey, I think it works great. I've had people say it works really well. So
yeah, yeah. When your next project is done, since you can't talk about it, um, do you have a time frame when you know it's going to be like when we should start looking for it?
I wish. I mean,
Man,
not anytime really soon. So
I'm trying to sneak any type of little kernel out of it I can. So
there's so many unknowns still with it. So that's why I can't really talk about it.
that's
It's
my analyst. That's my analyst side coming out, wanting to just just dig into it and just.
yeah. I mean, you're psychic. You probably know what's going on, right?
You got that blocked from me. I know. I see how that works.
Yep. All
When
good things. All good things.
have you ever had? I'm trying to figure out the best way to put this. Because you read animals, you read people. Have you ever had? Have you ever had animals come to you looking for help?
Oh, yes. A lot. I mean, It used to happen all the time at 3 a.m. Like, hey, I need you to tell my owner this. And I've gotten pretty good at like, you need to wait until your mom and I talk. Yeah, I mean, I'll have animals just hanging out in my house. My cats will be like, what is that? And then I'll ask the cat, what are you seeing? And they're like, yeah, it was a cat, it
Yeah,
was a dog, whatever. So yeah, I have to sage a lot and say, you need to leave. If you're not my spirit guide or my animal, animals attached to me,
right.
good day. You need to hit the road.
Yeah. What about living animals? Like when they're injured or when they're anxious or when there's anything else? Do you have any of them that just come up to you like your Cinderella or anything else? And they just come up to you and they're like, look, I need help. And you're right there and you can hear me and I need to talk to you. Things aren't good.
Physically with animals like in my neighborhood, they'll just stare at me, because they instantly know that I can hear them and understand them because I'm instantly tuned into them.
Right.
But in terms of spirits, not really.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if that was just something that like stray dog walks up to you and kind of looks at you and goes, "Hi, I'm a stray. Help." So
I mean, yes, that has happened a lot, but that's how I rescued my guinea pig. It was just outside my door, literally. So animals always find us.
yeah, yeah,
I misspoke earlier when I said that that's not for spirits. You were talking about living animals.
yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's
Um,
okay.
yeah, no, I mean, I have to tune in. I have to see their picture to really tune into them. So otherwise, I'm just hearing all of them.
So a very interesting question just came up. Have you ever tried to talk to animals that are extinct?
Ooh, you know, I haven't, but that would be really interesting to try to tune into like dinosaurs. Or honestly, I feel like their energy is so far gone from this realm. I've never felt anything like that.
Huh?
I probably could talk to animals that have just been extinct and are on the other side, but I don't know. I feel like they're far away. I don't know why.
Huh? Yeah. What about? Well, I mean, I'm sure you could, but I don't. I'm sure you could talk to pretty much any type of animal that's out there now because you talked about reptiles, amphibians, all the different types. So
Mhm.
I'm thinking of living dinosaurs like the alligators and some of the larger sharks and stuff like that. I'm sure that all of them would still be able to communicate one way or another. I mean,
They may
there's
not want to, but yeah, I mean, the telepathic communication applies to any animal or
right.
person. So,
Yeah. Bobby wants to know, do you know what episodes of Fright Club you are on?
yeah. So last Thursday it was called Cat Caller, and so and then the one that airs this Thursday. I don't know what the name of the episode is, but it does involve a dog, and that's all I know about it so far because I haven't seen it yet. But
Okay. Yeah, Bobby, go do your research. Bobby's like a brother to me, so I always got to give him grief when he comes on here. So he throws it right back, so it's good. All right, William's got another question for you. We went to the dinosaur ways. Have you ever thought about the possibility of speaking to cryptids?
I'm not familiar with all you were talking about elementals. I'm not familiar with a lot of that stuff.
Cryptids are like your Bigfoot, your Loch Ness,
Okay.
your Rougarous, anything like that. So that's
Yeah.
any of the creatures that you just kind of come across, the werewolves, all those different ones that you're just like, that's that's totally different too. But they're some form of they seem to have some form of I mean they all have an intelligence to them. You can tell by the lore they have and everything else. So have you ever tried to communicate with anything along those lines?
I haven't. I do have a theory about like Bigfoot though.
Yeah,
I feel like it's just spirits from in another dimension that people actually see sometimes.
that's
Why we can't see them, same with
exactly.
Loch Ness.
And that's my explanation about how come we can't find their bones or anything else because I don't believe they're from this dimension. I believe they're
Right. They're
from
not
another
in this
dimension.
dimension.
Right. And I think that we're just watching them pass through,
Hmm.
or they're here for something, but then they go back to their own dimension. That's exactly how I think as well.
Yeah. Or, maybe they're in an energy grid or a portal or something where they become visible because I feel like the veil is so thin between here and other dimensions.
Yeah, if you want to kind of check on that yourself a little more, go talk to or go watch she's known as a cryptid huntress. Her name is Jessica Jones,
Okay.
and she's on YouTube and Facebook. She was actually on my show, and she works with ex-military and people who have a lot of top secret clearances and stuff like that. And they talk about um, when they're in locations how they can pick up a lot of like IR signatures, the heat signatures and stuff like that, even though there's nothing there. And some people have actually walked into them and they have disappeared, and then they've had to walk back out of them somewhere else. And they're like, "Where did you go?" And they're like, "We have no idea." Yeah. So she talks about that. She actually talks about that on her show.
Check her out. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's called Cryptid Huntress. So Nikki's doing the research for you. She said Cat Caller season 2, episode 7. Next one is called Ghosting with the Stars, episode 8. So there you go.
7 and 8.
And then Nighthawk is suggesting you should watch this video of the portals and the translucent being.
I will. Can you send me that link, William?
Yeah, it's interesting because it would be really interesting to see, to talk to you if you decided to go on an attempt to try to talk to extinct or cryptids along those lines, and have you back on and go, okay, so how'd it go, type of thing. So
no, I have talked to people who have died, like famous people who have died. That was really fascinating.
I say, how did that go? Can you mention who you talked to?
Betty White.
Really?
Yeah, right after her death. I was watching a documentary on her and just really sitting in her energy and trying to feel her, and clear as day. Yeah. She was talking about my cat, and at the time I only had one male cat, and she's like, "Your cat needs a boyfriend." And she came through. This is how I knew it was her, and it wasn't just me making it up, because she said Coco, and I was like, what are you trying to tell me? Like hot cocoa? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. And then after she left, I sat with her and talked with her for about 5 minutes, and it was her voice too, like really clearly in my mind. And I thanked her for all the work she had done for animals. She was a huge animal advocate. And I didn't know a lot about her before I saw this documentary, but I just, thanked her for that. And she said Coco. And so after she was gone, I felt her leave. I went up and Googled Betty White and Coco, and sure enough, she had been really good friends with Coco the gorilla.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's how it kind of knew, like it was subtle and random and not something I would have pulled through. So I got to talk to Betty White. Yeah. And she was really funny. Not just, I know that's how she's known, but she was really funny just interacting with me and my cat. And so that was pretty cool. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I didn't even think to ask you that one. I should have. Everyone else was talking about past creatures and everything else. I didn't even think about past people.
I do believe I talked to Princess Di after she died.
Really?
Yeah, that night I had a crazy vivid dream. And she came to me. I feel like they come to any kind of medium or anybody who's open who can hear them, but she came to me and said, they did this to me. And it was so real that I believe that was her spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Are you able to remote view? Do you remote view? Okay.
I don't practice it a lot, but I can do it when I need to.
Do you astral travel at all?
I believe I do. I definitely have flying dreams. Okay. I probably do it and don't know what I'm doing. So I really need to educate myself on that. I do meditations that have astral traveling, but yeah, I mean, other people have told me that I astral travel a lot. When I was younger, a lot of times I had a feeling of falling back down into my body, and it jolting me and
jolt you up. Yep. Yeah. I've actually known that I've astral traveled a handful of times, and one of them, my mentor and I met up at a location because we planned on astral traveling at the same time to meet up.
That's really cool.
That was very interesting. So
yeah, I will say my dreams, they've been so vivid and detailed, like me being in just an ornate castle with all these ornate decorations, and definitely, foreign lands that are not here. So they're so real and vivid to me. Yeah, I mean, I have to be. And the amount of flying I've done in my dreams, I mean, yeah, it has to be astral
Yeah.
travel.
Yeah. So I'm kind of going back towards where we were at before, because Jamie's coming back with, and this was talking about the cryptids, the Bigfoot and stuff like that. She's saying, I feel like we can't always perceive their dimension like elementals and fae. It all overlaps, but we can't always see it. And then she follows on with, like, they may not be interdimensional like we think of it. They are just different vibrations.
Could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? I've also heard that all the dimensions, like the 11 ones,
Yes.
that they're all here on Earth, which is trippy when you think about it.
So I have, I am very much a nerd by heart. I'm going to say goodnight to William. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate the questions and you talking. I am a nerd. Huge. And when you start talking dimensional stuff, this is where my part of my college, part of my university degree comes from some of this.
Okay.
I actually did a theoretical statistics in quantum mathematics. So it's very much.
I knew you were going to say that quantum. Yeah.
Yeah, very much around that realm. And we actually had a discussion about how parallel universes work and where they sit and how they rotate and how they intertwine and how they meet, which is why we have so many overlaps that we should not have, or that people think we shouldn't have. But they're actually meant to happen because they're on a certain timeline and they're destined and predestined to actually meet at these places. Not the people necessarily, but the actions. People still, even though they have some form of predestined something of what's going to happen, they still have free will as well. So they can control some of this. But movements that happen throughout the universe are not made up of free will. They are just going to happen. So that's how they're going to line up. And that's how we kind of see where they all kind of meet up. So you're talking about the 11 here on Earth. That is very much true. We have actually done a study to where we believe there are 29 different parallels. Yes.
Here on Earth or just
overall, but we also have a belief that, when I say we, this is our study that we did, that latitude and longitudes, because mostly longitudes, the way they converge at the poles is actually where they are meeting at certain locations in time.
Okay.
So you have all the different longitudes all the way around the Earth, and every single one of those is a point in time, which equals a different parallel. And then they all converge. And then what happens is when it doesn't stop at the poles, they recross and they continue on, and then they come back up, and at the end of that pole, they meet again. And it almost looks like a rotating DNA strand.
Okay.
The way they meet up like that.
That's kind of what I've seen. Yeah. It's hard to describe the shape of what I've seen with the dimensions, but yeah.
Yeah. So Melody's saying Donnie Darko stuff. Yep. Exactly.
I love it. I could talk about this stuff all day. I'm not educated enough to talk about it all day, but I think it's fascinating stuff.
Yeah. I'm just a nerd by heart. This is the type of stuff that I can read and just go on with, and people are like, "What? Wait, why?" And I'm like, "Just because that's what I read."
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Research. Yeah. If I spend as much time grounding and meditating as I did reading nerdy stuff, I'd probably be pretty good. So
I think you have some real abilities, actually.
Excuse me?
I think you definitely have some real abilities.
Oh, I hope so. I appreciate that. Jamie is saying she has a new theory that she's going to have to message. So I'm waiting for that one. And then I told you that my family makes fun of me on here. My audience does. And this is my wife letting you know that I am a nerd. So
Nerds are good. Nerds are great. I'm a nerd.
And then Jamie's saying some of the grids are more like tubes, and that's where stuff crosses. Correct. I do not think of it as a grid. I think in them as tubes. I think in them as pathways, round pathways that almost like what you think of, like when you also in your head think of like a wormhole or
Yep. Black
a
hole.
pattern or whatever else. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. See, and now all the nerds are coming out. Melody,
Love
our
it.
astronomy. So yep, we're all here. Uh, but yes, and that's very interesting about, because you mentioned black holes. I have a different thought process on black holes than what scientists do, and it's almost I don't know why I have that different thought process, but I just don't believe. I believe what they say to a point, but I don't think they've connected all the endpoints together yet. They only know how much they know, but I think for some reason, in one of my many past journeys, I have made that connection to what's happened in maybe one of my starseed pasts or anything else. But I think I have actually known about what black holes do on the other side of them, besides just stuff and just eternal blackness once you hit the side of it, and there's just one big vacuum. I think on the other side, there's actually something that comes to it. So
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's a
yes,
gateway to another dimension, maybe. I don't know.
yes, that I don't know if they're dimensional. I think they're time steppers. I honestly think black holes are time steppers. Is the best way I can describe it. Jamie's saying some of them are grids and geometric shapes. And then when she's talking back about her grids and tubes and everything else. So yes.
Yes, that's right.
Their knowing is logical and ours is just a knowing, like
Yep.
one of our Claire's. And Melody's saying wormholes. Yeah. I honestly think wormholes and black holes are two different things to me. Otherwise, I think we'd use them the same way, but I think they're used in two different ways. That's my thought process. We can talk about that on another show, because that really went down a totally different way. Sorry about that. Welcome to my squirrel moment.
Fascinating. I love it.
But you're doing storybooks. I'm coming back on a totally different squirrel moment. You're about to do kids books. You're about to do children's books. You said you're doing 2 of them, right?
Got one written. It's a draft. I have one in my head. Like I always have stuff in my head because my daughter,
Right.
She loves ladybugs. So I'm formulating a book about ladybugs right now, and making your own luck and that kind of premise. But yeah, and the other one is about teaching. I love Jamie said, "Oh yes, pet psychic."
Yeah. Yeah. Back to that.
That was a squirrel moment for me because I totally forgot what I was talking about.
Second book. You're just talking about the ladybugs, and now you're going to have a second book. You have an idea for.
Yeah, just teaching kids about animal communication, starting early and teaching them, how to do that. And I'm all about humane education and animal awareness and advocacy, and it's good to start that stuff early.
So has anyone asked you? I just have to ask because I'm curious. Has anyone asked you? Is it kind of like what you saw in Dr. Dolittle? I have to ask.
What I do like Dr. Dolittle?
Yeah.
A little bit. It's funny. I saw the remake of it with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
And it was actually not a bad film. He takes more of the scientific approach rather than the telepathic communication approach.
Than the Eddie Murphy type of side to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you've never seen a 2-headed llama, right?
Not in this lifetime. Never.
I'm just checking because in the original Dr. Dolittle book, there's a 2-headed llama.
That'd be pretty cool. That author had quite the imagination, huh?
Right. Well, I'm going to leave it to you. We are coming up on an hour and a half. I told you it was going to go pretty fast.
Oh, wow. That did go fast.
See, I told you. If there's anything else you'd like to talk about, you'd like to talk about the books you already have out, if you'd like to talk about what's coming up.
I don't have any books out yet, actually.
If you want to talk about your site again, because I am more than happy to throw this up there. So tell us about your site.
Yes, that's where you can book any kind of mediumship reading, pets or people, or a life clarity reading. I also do law of attraction coaching, all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you have in detail what they are out there.
hmm
You give like a little summary description of them, and you have
hmm
prices out there, so everyone knows they're not going to be surprised like that.
hmm Yep.
So you have a lot of stuff out there. I mean, you have, like you said, you have the life coaching. Um,
Law of attraction coaching.
oh, I'm sorry, law of attraction coaching, and you also have something on there. It's almost like a mentorship type thing that you have.
hmm
So that's also really cool too. Is that geared towards people or pets, or is it geared one or the other, or both, or?
It's usually just a private session, and I work with that person. So maybe, a person comes to me and it's like, I know I'm an animal communicator. I just don't know how to hone it. So I kind of work with her and meet that person where they're at and then see what else she needs to kind of develop. Like, okay, maybe you need to meditate more. Maybe you need practice with these animals, so I kind of work with that individual person. And same with, if they're a people psychic, I kind of
Mm,
teach them what I've learned. I don't have any formal teaching courses out there yet. I'm sure I will one day. I'm a teacher. I used to teach kids, but um, yeah, that'll happen. But I'm too busy doing readings right now to teach. So
right.
I
Yeah.
love that. And that's where I am in my life. So
That's good. Yeah. That's outstanding.
I also did want to mention, please go follow me on social media. It's just Pet Psychic on Instagram. I think it's Carrie Kenady Pet Psychic on Facebook.
Yeah, it's Carrie Kenady Pet Psychic. Yep,
Yep.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that one because I looked at that one too. Like I said, I'm really good at Facebook stalking folks, and not in a bad way.
You
So
got to do your homework.
so I do. I do. Hi, Debbie. Welcome to the show, but we're just about done. So hopefully you'll go back and actually watch the recording of this. But I'm glad you showed up so I can say hi to you. Um, Debbie's kind of a newer follower to me, and I'm really happy she's here because she is awesome. But I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. This is wonderful.
If you wouldn't mind, I'm just going to put you backstage for a couple of minutes.
Okay.
I'll come talk to you after the show.
Okay.
But I'm going to put you in the back really quick, and I will say goodnight to them, and I will be back with you shortly. So
Sounds good. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Gary, appreciate it. All right, I'll be right with you.
Okay.
All right, everyone, that's my show. I want to do a quick look. Don't run away anywhere. I start traveling Sunday. I'm still going to do all my shows while I'm gone, so it's going to be a little hectic. So bear with me. Next week, holy cow! Next week I will have on Wayne Brecky. He actually is a rune reader. He reads runes, and then I'm also going to have on James Cloud. He is a priest who also is a demonologist, and as such, he's going to be on the week after that. And then after that, I'll be back. So hopefully I'll have everything lined up. But just for now, just know I will be traveling. I will get messages as I can. I will do as many postings as I can as I normally try to let you know who's up and coming. Excuse me, I had a hiccup really quick. But thank you for being on the show tonight. Everyone who is here, I appreciate you all. People who are going to be watching later, of course, you know I love you all as well. Here you go, my stuff. Facebook.com, stuff I never learned from a schoolbook.com. I'm on Twitch, twitch.tv, stuff I never learned. And then if you go out to my YouTube channels, youtube.com/channel with all that wonderful garbage on there, type in stuff I never learned from a schoolbook. You see it right here. It will pop up for you and you'll be able to find out where I am. I appreciate everyone on here. As always, if you have any questions at all, just make sure that you send them to me on my sites, any of them. My Facebook ones were really where my email is listed at. But if you're looking for my email, it's stuffineverlearned@gmail.com. So you can come out there and find me there. Otherwise, I will see everybody next Monday. I will be in San Diego, California for 2 weeks. The third week, I will not have a show because I will be in Japan and it will actually be Labor Day. So I'm not going to try to do a show 17 hours ahead of you guys because I'll probably be trying to sleep at that point. So anyways, I will see you next week from San Diego. I will be coming on at way early, 5 p.m. for me, 7 p.m. for everyone else here in the Central Y'all know the time zones. I'll tell them see you again next week. Other than that, have a great week. I love you all, and I will see you all next week.